What is up, you beautiful people out there on the internet? It is I, Michael Shockman, here with another episode for you guys of our series of D&D 5e Simplified here on the DM Shockman Institute. We're going to be diving in this week into the Bard in the mid kind of section of our classes here in the magical subset of classes in the PHB. Really quick before we dive into things, I do want to ask you two things. First off, or actually three things technically. I want to first off thank you all. I love you all so much. Thank you so much for all of the support and the continued support. Our channel has been growing at a breakneck pace. We've been getting tons of likes, tons of views, and tons of subscriptions. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Secondly, as per usual, in that same vein, please be sure to, if you haven't already, like and subscribe. It helps out immensely with the algorithm here on YouTube. Thank you so much. Thirdly and lastly, I do want to point out that we are going to be continuing with our screenshot format here on the channel, where you will be able to see the screenshots of and various graphics of things up here for things and whatnot. And then you'll be able to pause it at your leisure in case you don't have the book available to read and peruse. So with that out of the way, folks, let's dive for this week's episode into the Bard. So really quick, the Bard gets a D8 to their hit die. They get access proficiency-wise to light armor, simple weapons, hand crossbows, long swords, rapiers, and short swords. For tool proficiencies, which they get off the bat, they get access to and a choice of 3 musical instruments of their choice. Their saving throws in terms of stats are dexterity and charisma, and unlike most other classes who have a short list of skills that they can choose from, the Bard gets to choose any 3 skills in terms of proficiency from the entire list, flat out. Definitely goes to show that they're definitely jack of all trades. Moving on from that, I do just want to point out that the Bard is a jack of all trades but a master of none, though they can definitely specialize into some things, which we will get to here in just a moment as we discuss the 2 main subclasses in the PHB. The first one being the College of Lore, the caster classes, the caster of the 2 types. And so check out the links and the screenshots right up here, and we'll see you in a minute. Got it? Good. Sweet. Okay, so the College of Lore is very much the caster of the 2 choices. It's very much the scholar. They get access to their to a number of different features, including an early set of magical secrets, which allows them to choose like a buffet menu from 2 spells, I believe, from any caster class in the entire D&D 5th edition spell lexicon, as long as they have access to that spell slot level. It also allows them to use their Bardic Inspiration to add to doing what's called cutting words, which allows them to then use the successfully increasing Bardic Inspiration die to take away from an attack that might otherwise hit them, which is kind of cool, kind of insulting them so that they lose track of their attack, that being the attack of the enemy. Where I would recommend using a Lore Bard is if you want to play a kind of very versatile caster class. Maybe not being able to do as much damage as some of the other classes, but want to be able to have more utility and more other skill-based abilities. Which then kind of leads us into the second subclass, which is the College of Valor, which check out the screenshots right up here and right up here, and we will see you guys in a minute. We'll give you our thoughts. Got it? Good. Okay, so the College of Valor is very much the mid-range skirmisher / battle bard, the Skald, if you will, of the group and of the class. I'm just going to keep this really simple. I always want to call it the battle bard. The Valor Bard is best suited as either a mid-range skirmisher supporting their allies from the middle line of combat, or as a mid-range archer. They can technically, with the fact that they get proficiency when you take this class, this subclass, in medium armor and martial weapons. They don't quite have the hit points or the armor or the potential for armor class of like a frontline fighter, so it's better, in my opinion, to use them as an archer, using either a crossbow or a longbow or even a short bow to be able to kind of pick off people and use their bardic inspiration for adding to damage, which because they are able to use their bardic inspiration to not only add to a saving throw or a attack roll, but because they have battle inspiration, they can then they or their allies who are inspired can then use their battle inspiration to either add to their armor class if they're being hit, as kind of an homage to the cutting words of the lore bard, or they can add it to damage, which is really, really cool. That's going to about cover it for the subclasses here in the bard. Well, now we're going to move on to our last section, which is the summary. The summary is this. Simply put, the bard is a jack of all trades and a master of none. They can do a lot of different things and fill a lot of the different niches and roles, but they're never going to be quite as good as the independent classes whose roles they can fill in a pinch. They can be a healer, they can be a magic caster, they can be kind of an off thief or a rogue. They can be a midline, an in the moment defender in melee. They can be a ranged combatant. Where their real strength lies and where they really come into their own is in their versatility. In terms of their complexity, I would have to put them at a high intermediate to probably a mid to high advanced, because it's really easy the concepts of a bard are really easy to begin, but they're extremely hard to master. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I'm Michael Shockman. I've been your host and commentator. Two really quick things before we sign off. Please be sure, first of all, to follow the links down in the description. You know what they do, you know where they go, you know what to do. Secondly, stay tuned for next week when we cover the Warlock in our series of D&D 5th Edition Simplified, that being 5e Simplified. And until next time, guys, I'm Michael Shockman. I've been your host and commentator. And remember, as always, keep it real, keep it safe, keep it healthy. And we'll see you guys again soon in the Institute. Bye, guys.